Boys and girls, Duet Night Abyss has officially arrived, and my goal in this video is to ensure you have a great launch experience by explaining to you all of the new systems and aspects that have been introduced into the game. As you may already know, there's no more gacha and there's no more stamina, which is an amazing thing, but with that comes new ways for you to progress through the game, farm replayable loops, get characters, and all that good stuff. What do the dailies and weeklies look like? How do I unlock characters? What are your recommendations? I'm going to be trying to go over as much as you need to know to have a great beginner launch experience. Now, with that said, for those of you who may not know, DNA is a hybrid action RPG game with a very fast-paced combat system. And it's also got a unique storytelling experience where you have a dual narrative protagonist type of ordeal where you're going to be playing with two completely different protagonists going through the story. You'll start off with one, you'll go through it, and then you'll flip over to the other one and play with that protagonist. And let me tell you something, without spoiling anything, it's a banger, guys. I genuinely mean it. The way they've gone about it has been absolutely beautiful, but I don't want to linger on that. Just know that is a thing in this game. Anywho, if by some chance you haven't downloaded the game yet, you can click the link down below in the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section and download Duet Night Abyss right now. And lastly, before we get started, huge shout out to the DNA team for sponsoring this video and enabling me to bring it to your awareness. That said, let's go ahead and get into it. Apart from the 7 free characters we're going to be getting by merely just playing the story, you know, you log in and you get Berenica thanks to just the pre-registration milestone, or if you want to get Truffle and Filbert, there's a cute little event going on. And then there's 4 remaining characters you get just from progressing through the story. But apart from them, how do we unlock the rest of them? What's that process look like for farming them? Walk us through it. And I want to start off with just the shards. I'm going to press L here. It'll take me to this page and you'll see a plethora of things, right? The beginner's guide system is going to be kind of like your adventurer's book. Traditionally, in a lot of gacha games, there's like an adventurer's book where you get like very easy tasks that you're going to do anyway as you play through the game, right? Level up any character 20, enhance any weapon to level 20. You're going to be doing these things anyway. And then you'll be getting rewards for doing so. Secret letter clue is one of those rewards. So this is like kind of like a one-off thing. You're going to go through it, clear it, and you'll be done with it. And it'll be handing you out cosmetic pulls, resources, as well as secret letter clues. And there's a lot of these clues. If you scroll through this, it's rounding up to about 100 clues in total. But that's not the only way of getting them. You also have memo, which is essentially your daily system. Just by knocking out whatever the hell task they're giving you, you'll eventually collect up to 200 points. And it will give you another 15 secret letter clues daily. All right, so you get 15 daily secret letter clues just for doing your dailies. But apart from that, we also have our commissions. This is going to be where you're going to be doing all the grind when it comes to developing your characters, building builds on them, and so on and so forth. You've got character experience, weapon experience, character essential materials, weapon essential materials, demon wedges, skill upgrade. This is where all the farming is going to occur for developing your account, right? Well, as you're defeating these mobs in these commissions, they will also drop secret letter clues, not on the spot, but once you finish and end it and complete it, when it's all said and done, you're going to see a bunch of rewards lined up and you'll see some secret letter clues in there. And that can be farmed to your heart's content. Once again, there's no stamina system, so you can just keep going in here as much as you like, farming, and you can get as many secret letters as you want as you're getting through there. And so that's another means of doing it. They've also got Nocturnal Echo, which is essentially your weekly boss fights, and you can get it through there as well as some other aspects. We'll go over that later. Anyways, once you get your secret letter clues, you come over here to this shop, you go over to Covert Commission, and this will have all the characters that are unlockable through this secret letter dynamic. And you'll see that if I wanted to get Berenica, I have to exchange 10 secret letter clues. That's that little icon down there. I have to exchange 10 secret letter clues for just 1 secret letter. So it'll be a bit of a farming process here, right? You can click, let's say I want to buy like 5 of them. That'll cost me 50. I'll purchase that. Once I have my secret letters, I then come over here, I press L, I go to commissions, and I go to what's called Covert Commission. Right here, we have 3 different categories: the character, the weapon, the demon wedge. Up to you, right? If you want to unlock the weapon, you'll click on that. I want to unlock a character, so I'll come over here to Hedge or Escort. That's currently the events that are ongoing, and these do cycle in and out. They're on a current period. In 18 minutes, it'll be a different dynamic of commissions that we'll be doing. But you'll click on select a secret letter, and you'll choose the character that you want to farm to unlock that character and acquire them. Now over here, it's going to say possible rewards. If I consume a secret letter, after I do this commission, it's a possibility that I'm going to receive one of these rewards. There's a chance you can receive the gold one, which is 10 shards, or you can receive 2 shards, or you might just receive more secret letters and so on and so forth. It takes 30 shards in total to unlock a character. Okay, so you'll be doing a couple of grind. If you're lucky enough, it all depends on RNG. You can get that character and acquire them in a matter of an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, or you can acquire them in whatever your luck ends up looking like. And so this is essentially a much better free-to-play friendly experience for acquiring these characters. Next thing I want to go over is going to be the build system, aka the Demon Wedge system. It's actually quite complex. If you've never played any of the betas of Duet Night Abyss or games similar to this, you're going to be absolutely confused with this system. So let's go ahead and explain it briefly. First of all, there's the character, there's the melee weapon, and there's the range weapon. Okay, so there's 3 different builds for characters in this game. And there can even be 4 different builds if that character has a transformation that is separate from their base form. So this guy is somebody who doesn't have a transformation. So he's only got 3 different builds. He's got the character build, which is himself, the melee weapon he uses, and then the range weapon as well has a build. If you come down here to Demon Wedge, it'll take you to the build in its entirety. Now I want to go ahead and take all of this off and explain it fundamentally for those who don't know. There's 8 different slots, right? This is pretty much your armor, your traditional gearing system. And then down here is going to be all of the Demon Wedges, aka your gear. If I were to take one of these pieces and slot it in here, I can, right? But it's going to cost a numerical value. Every piece has a numerical value. Right here is called tolerance. When you put a piece in a slot, this tolerance is going to fill up. The goal is to not let it hit 100, because if it does, you won't be able to put any more pieces on your gearing. Furthermore, you won't even be able to level up wedges, because even leveling up the wedge does increase the tolerance of that wedge. So you might be thinking, damn, that's kind of problematic. Well, there's a way to bypass it. And the way that that works is the symboling system. Okay, so every single wedge has a symbol attached to it. If you look very closely, and I'll make sure to zoom in on this, this has a symbol, this has a symbol, it looks kind of like a moon. Every single one of these is going to have a particular symbol. Well, this right here, which is called Adjust Slot Track, pertains to helping these symbols reduce the tolerance of the wedges you're equipping. All you have to do is match the slot up with the wedges symbol. It's very simple. So if I go to, let's say I grab this one right here and I place it, it's going to cost 9, right? But if I were to place it in the incorrect spot, it goes up to 23. So you want to make sure that whatever symbols you're using on these wedges are going in the correct slots with the respective symbol. Now it's up to you to decide what slot is going to have what symbol. If I go to Adjust Slot Track, I can change any of these slots to whatever symbol I want them to be. That is up to your freedom, but it's important for you to take note that ensure that you're matching up the wedges with the corresponding symbols to reduce your tolerance down to a bare minimum. That way, when we go ahead and do our actual build, everything's lined up, everything's in the green, and now we only have 79 tolerance. Even every single piece I have on is +5, and I still only have 79 tolerance. So it's very important. Now, there's one more thing I want to go over. This pertains to obviously the weapon, the dual pistol. Like I said, 3 different builds and such, but you want to make sure you're looking at the yellow of every single character. So if I come back here to the starter screen, everything in yellow is what this character specializes in. It kind of gives them an identity and a linear pathing for you to build those characters. So skill damage, skill duration, skill efficiency, and resolve are going to be the things that if I improve those, it's going to boost this guy's performance in combat. Another thing to take note of is the weapon. Look at this so that you can know what weapon should go on that character. Now you can use whatever weapon you want to use on them, but they specialize in these particular weapons, right? Dual blades and dual pistol. And so we'd come over here to melee weapons. We would organize it and we'd come over here to the dual blades and we'd say, okay, let's put that on them. The next thing that would help us with the linear pathing is skill damage, skill duration, skill efficiency. So when I go over here to my melee weapon, I'm going to be looking for those particular stats, especially on the character themselves. And so you'll see over here, skill damage, skill duration, as well as animo, that's his element. Skill damage plus 30%. When an animal character uses combat skill, it gains some damage bonus, so on and so forth. You get the point. Intron is going to be your duping system. And then, of course, we've got skill tree. Everybody's got a passive, a buff, which is going to be your ultimate, and then your skill up here. Every single character has this. And on the far right in particular, this is actually quite important to their partnering system. Every single character will have a buff that they will provide to the party, right? His increase attack for self and animo allies. And so you would be using him in animo teams just so he can give the entire team a 40% attack boost, provided that they are of the animo element. Right here is going to be your ultimate. And every single character will have one of these, and then they'll have some passives attached to it. And then you have your skill. Once again, attack boost, attack boost. This is your passives tree. This is where you're going to be leveling up every single one of these abilities. As you can see, I filled this guy up to the brim, but you'll have some materials that are required to level those pieces up. Finally, we've also got our Genimon system, which is going to be like your pet system. These little guys do help you in battle. Deals lumino damage equal to a percentage. They can also give buffs that'll help out that particular elemental character. And, you know, honestly, they look freaking cool. I really like how they look. Gorgeous freaking designs, man. Look at this one right here. I want to pair this up with Hellfire. So yeah, you'll be leveling these guys up as well, and they will apply to the entirety of the build. Finally, we have Tactical Backpack. This is very important. One, you can put poses in here, and you can do like little poses to flex, like when you're, you know, done doing a commission or something, you just want to do like a bit of a pose to flex. But more importantly, your two partners, especially if you're a solo player, go into your tactical backpack. And this is going to be how you can summon them when you're in the middle of combat. And you will need these partners. As I said, they have passives that can give buffs to the party. You can put a healer in there to keep your party alive, so on and so forth. The 3-man system, you're going to be the driver of the main person you choose, and then you'll have 2 people accompanying you. And so this tactical backpack is going to be how you can summon them and aid you in the midst of combat. So now I want to briefly touch up on some of the combat elements. First of all, you got double jump in this game. You've got a slide. You can also slide to a helix jump. And then if you look up, the helix jump makes you jump way higher. You can also shoot in the air, go down for a plunge. These are all pretty standard combat moves for Duet Night Abyss. Everybody has an E, a Q, and then Z for their little gorgeous Genimon up there. Look at him, he looks so gorgeous. But yeah, you can like E, like my guy here, he literally goes invisible, which is super sick. Y'all know I'm a sucker for these kind of characters. He can come out of the invisibility, and then everybody has their Q, which is their ultimate. His is an ultimate that recalls all of those little daggers. He sets them up like around the fields, and then once he's done, he pops his ult and recalls them back. And they do a ton of damage when they land on an individual target. My personal team, I want to talk about that because I'm going to be going over who I'm going to be using and the plan I'm going to be going for. You can copy it or you can not copy it. I'll also have some generalized recommendations depending on if you're a new player, so on and so forth. I'm doing this team right here. It's Outrider, Daphne, and Psyche. So Outrider and Daphne you get for completely free in the story. Completely free. Just by playing through the story, you get 30 shards, you acquire them, GG's. So Daphne, here she is. She has a passive. This is going to be one of the most important traits to pay attention to, especially for solo players who don't go into co-op and match up with other players. This trait right here increases crit chance for self and allies. Every single character in the game has a passive trait on this tree on the far right-hand side that benefits the party, but everybody's a bit different. Some people are a bit more unique. She gives a 40% crit chance boost to the party, right? And she heals. So this character is insanely valuable and universal. And, well, I'm not going to say free, because everybody's technically free in the game, right? Because there's no gacha anymore. But like immediately accessible without having to do like eye-bleeding grind. You can get Daphne just right then and there. So she's a good option. Margie is also somebody you shouldn't sleep on for a generalized recommendation because her passive is a attack boost, 40% attack boost. And it just says for self and allies. You might think, who cares about that? But a lot of these characters, they will have something that only benefits their element. Like, for example, Berenica, increase attack for self and Umbro allies, right? So a bit more specific. A lot of the characters do that. Margie's one of the few characters in the game that gives attack boost just period to all allies. And so I think she's a great partner to put into your tactical backpack, as well as Daphne. Those two are pretty universal. But like I said, I'm going to be doing this team because the way I see it, This guy, I enjoy playing with him. I like his fast attacking style. I like he has the dual pistols like Dante, you know, pretty cool. And he can go invisible. I just like his play style, right? He might not be for everybody, but I like him. But the other thing I like is I'm planning to acquire a Psyche. I'll explain that later on in the video. And then I'll use him just to like fulfill my weeb. And then I'll use Psyche. They're interchangeable as the driver, right? The main DPS. And both of them benefit each other. So if we come over here to skills, she gives an attack boost for 50% to animal allies. And then this guy gives not as big of an attack boost, but he gives a 40% attack boost to animal allies. So I can swap them out depending on who's who. Psyche, oh my God, bro. So that's the next thing I want to talk about. If you're looking for a comfortable experience, a Psyche is so freaking cracked, bro. She just flies in the air and just starts popping off. You can like shumpo step with her, or burst step, or flash step, whatever you want to call it, and you can just start like obliterating people in the air. She does work the same way he does. She eats away at her own HP, but it doesn't even matter because you're just flying in the air with those big, beautiful butterfly wings and just obliterating everybody from the air. But there's a character you get very early on by the name of Rebecca, a beautiful woman with jellyfish. And she's also a very like AFK auto farm type of character. She summons up to 3 jellyfish. You can just set these jellyfish up. They start popping off passively. And then she can apply poison with her staff. Once you apply poison and these jellyfish are popping off, you just pop her ult for a big burst of damage. That's how she functions. And so that character there is going to be a very easy to pick up character. Nothing like crazy in terms of like mastering them. She's very straightforward. So you can use her once again with like a Daphne and a Margit, and boom, you're good to go. That'll be a free to play friendly team that'll hold you down for a while. Those are my recommendations. Figure now is a good time to explain to you guys how you can acquire Psyche. There's an event that's going to be coming out called the Immersive Theater. This event is actually pretty cool. First of all, you go in here and it's got a plethora of different acts. I already did act 1 just to try to see what it was. It's pretty fun. You got 2 different teams that you'll set up, and then you'll go in through this event. You'll fight a couple of mobs, clap their cheeks, and then there's a big boss at the end. Once you finish it, you'll get a star rating. Obviously, if you like do the whole event like and you're well prepared, you're gonna get all the star ratings. It's that simple. You're gonna claim all of the resources that you got, and then you'll come over to the memento as well. You got some limited items that you can exchange for the currency to purchase all of these items in here. This is gonna be towards the limited stock for the weapon, and it's that simple. Yeah, it's pretty straightforward, to be completely honest with you. Now, there is one thing to note. This event is not available until you do the Chapter 1 Twilight story. And that story is going to be pretty far in. So you're going to have to do a bit of grind. It's not crazy, but like you're going to get through the MSQ, and then you're going to go over to the dual protagonist narrative, get through that. Then you're going to unlock the Immersive Theater, and you'll be able to start doing this event. So that's important to take note of. There's also another event called the Mystic Maze. And this one is actually a bit of a roguelike mode. You see, if you come in here, you got the roguelike trees that are going to be giving you all kinds of buffs. You'll be ticking off these buffs to make your roguelike experience more powerful and fun. And you'll be going through this mode pretty much having a great time. Obviously, if you're a big fan of like roguelike type of ordeals, it'll have its own type of resources and rewards attached to it. And then you got an Abyss Archive, where it kind of like for the lore heads and stuff. And this mode is also tied into you unlocking another character. And that character is the brand new character that they just released called Lisbel. Lisbel is the character you'll be able to acquire through this event. They'll give you a ton of her resources as well. And this is tied directly to the Mystic Maze. Now, while we're on the topic of events, they're also going to be giving out a bunch of pulls. Like you'll be getting 10 pull for the Cosmetic banner, which is going to be Psyche's Cosmetic banner. It looks absolutely gorgeous. We'll be showing that off here in a bit. But then there's a standard banner where you can get these characters for skins as well. And they're going to be giving out a 10 pull right there. As soon as you get in, you got Bon Voyage, which is like a traditional leveling up system. They're going to be giving you some standard pulls towards the Cosmetic banner, standard Cosmetic banner, as well as some other weapons. You get a 5-star weapon at level 45. And then here they're giving out more. I tell you, these secret letter clues are like all over the place. You get a tactical posture. That looks nice. There's a ton of events, man. I'm gonna be honest. They're giving out a lot of stuff as soon as the launch occurs. But yeah, I just wanted to go over these things briefly so you can have that accessible to you. All right, let's go ahead and check it out, man. Look at this lovely skin, man. Oh my goodness, bro. Every time I just think of Poof from Hunter x Hunter. Those wings are absolutely gorgeous though. But yeah, you can like completely, you do not have to stick to blue. So if we go to coloring right here, you can straight up do whatever you want to. Now you got all your dyes over here, but like, man, sky is the limit with what you want to do. Dude, I'm actually blown away by just how much you can change on this dress. Like, holy, wow, you can change the aura. It's like Halloween, right? So I was trying to do like some Halloween pumpkin type of ordeal. But brother, this is crazy, the depth that you can do with this stuff. Okay, that's not like really hollow. I tried, man. I need a little like a purple in there. I think that's good. Like, right, a little bit of Halloween going on there. You get the point. You can like, I'm serious, you can change all kind of stuff in this cosmetic system. So it's like when you buy these skins, you aren't just getting that skin that looks gorgeous with the color tone they went for. Nah, brother, you're getting that as well as all types of chroma skins that you want to attach to it. It's a 10 out of 10 cosmetic experience, guys. And it's, oh, by the way, the weapon too. You can do the same thing to the weapon. Now, I had to save this for last. I had to, because this blew my socks off. Yep, boys. Oh yeah, man, they got it, boys. They got it. God damn it, Bobby. I'm buying this frame one. I'm buying this shit frame one, bro. They got the lightsaber on deck, boys. It's going down. Yep, hold up. Let me go ahead and show y'all what this looks like in action, boys. Hold on. Let me go ahead and head over here. I had to turn this up so y'all can hear it. All right, moving on real quick. I briefly wanted to mention boss fights are very important, right? As you can see, it's got remaining attempts, rewards this week, 4 out of 5. This boss here, once again, you're gonna have to grind through the story to get to it. But once you do, very important if you any Hellfire enjoyers, y'all know, oh boy, Hellfire, boy, god damn it, Bobby. Yeah, if you want to grind for Hellfire's secret letter, you're gonna have to get to that boss fight. It's gonna be a hell of a grind. You've also got this character, right? If you like this character, you're gonna have to do certain boss fights to grind for certain characters' secret lettering and certain weapons as well. This is gonna be like melee weapons. They've got a ranged weapon in there, and then you've got these two different characters are gonna be here for this boss fight, as well as these melee weapons. Man, oh bro, I gotta grind for this freaking ratchet gun, man. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so like boss fights are very important in that regard, and you do have it seems that you have like a weekly amount, so you want to be very careful with this, especially if you're trying to farm a particular character. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the story experience. I just want to let you guys know off rip, the first half of the story might come off a bit slow. That's very possible. It always does in a lot of games. It's just the nature of world building and introducing characters and trying to figure out what's going on with like the antagonist, the protagonist, so on and so forth. But that Twilight chapter where you go over to the dual narrative protagonists, oh my God, I was deeply impressed. It caught me all the way off guard. And the reason it did is because they did a lot of things that I criticize that should occur in storytelling in other games. Playable characters, for instance. There's a lot of playable characters that you're going to see when you come into this game. But the first thing that comes to your mind is, who the hell are they and what do they matter in the story? Am I ever going to meet these people? You meet a lot of these characters. Not only do you meet them in the story, but their significance is very apparent and their value shows seamlessly through the story. Like they have roles in the story that really add value to the dialogue and what's going on. Hellfire, case in point, I can't wait for you to meet her, bro. She's awesome. But it's like they were doing things that was impressive to me because it was like, okay, this is a real narrative here, right? The presentation looks good. The way that they're delivering dialogue is like locking me in. But then another thing that really impressed me was you have to make choices, and these choices, for better or for worse, come back to bite you in the ass or show you that you made the right one and you were paying attention. But choices do matter. They do. And like they do it in a way where I'm like, oh wow, it works. Oh, it was cool. It was really cool to see that. Another dynamic is they had some real intensity and stakes at hand. They introduced characters that aren't necessarily playable, but they were so valuable to the way that the story was progressing. And then like crazy events unfolded. I don't want to spoil no more. All I gotta say is Duet Night Abyss blew me away in that regard. All right, look, boys, y'all know me. I'm hard to impress. I'm hard to impress on a story, man. It was pretty damn good. I got to admit, it really was. I think that's going to wrap up all of my thoughts. Obviously, the cooperative experience is going to be there too if you want to play with friends. I've already talked with a couple content creators I want to play with and co-op with so that we can have fun farming together and just hang out and have a good time. Once again, you can download it if you haven't already by clicking my link down below in the description box or the pinned comment in the comment section. I think it's going to be a great deal of fun. Once again, huge shout out to the DNA team for sponsoring this. I will be live streaming this game all week. So if you guys want to come hang out, feel free to drop by, come hang out. We'll be pumping them live streams out left and right, brother. It's gonna be a busy week. Peace, love, and happiness. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.